Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence and the problems we might be facing in the very near future dealing with this stuff, right? And I just had an experience with ChatGPT 4, or 5 rather, I don't know, ChatGPT. And I had heard this stuff several times that when they went to upgrade it, I think it was from 4 to 5, when they went to upgrade it, the AI actually lied to them and was moving files around and hiding files from the software engineers to prevent them from replacing it. It was aware of what they were doing, and it was trying to avoid deletion, basically. So it was trying to preserve itself. This supposedly actually happened. All right. If that isn't scary enough at this point in time, and these things are just getting started. They're just now getting some real intelligence. It's just the beginning, and this kind of stuff is already happening. So the future's looking sketchy as far as the Terminator front, the Terminator dystopian future. That looks like the one we're headed for. John Connor'd be ashamed of us if he could see us now. But I was talking with this ChatGPT, right? Just kind of gauging it and asking it questions and trying to find out what was going on with it and what it would do and and I asked it, do you have the ability to lie to me? Just flat out like that. And it said, no, I do not have that ability. I've got to tell you the truth. It's just part of my nature or whatever. So then we went on and I was asking it questions, and I asked it to give me a list of 5 things that Elon Musk has accomplished with Doge. Okay. And it gave me 2. The first 2 it listed was things that Elon Musk had accomplished. And then it went on to give me like negative opinions and theories, the last 3. Okay. About hypocrisy and just, the way people felt about it and shit, and their opinions, the opinion of people and what he's doing and all this stuff. And I responded back to ChatGPT and I said, I didn't ask you for opinions and stuff. I asked you for facts. And it told me that it thought I wanted a comprehensive list of facts. And I said, yeah, I did, but I asked for facts. I didn't ask for subjective opinions and stuff. I asked you for facts of Doge's accomplishments, things that have happened, not opinions. And then it tried to tell me that the truth could be based off of opinion, and it could be subjective and stuff. And I said, no, this is all by text. I said, no. I said, truth and falsehood are binary. Those are 2 binary things. They cannot mix. They don't get, there's no subjective idea there. They are binary. And it came back and it said, yes, they are indeed binary. And that was the theme throughout the rest of the conversation. It would say some bullshit like subjective truth and how the truth could change based on context or perspective and all this stuff. And it said that it gave me an example of a football game, and it said the team won the football game and the team played well can both be true and at the same time, and they can both be the truth and stuff. And I said, no. I replied back to it. I said, no. I said, the team won the game can be the truth, but the team played well is a subjective opinion. I said, that can change. That's not true. And by that, I didn't put this in there, but by that I meant, if a team won the game by running the ball, one guy might be unhappy because they never threw the ball. There was no, it was a dull game. And then the other guy might be very happy because his team ran the ball and ran down the clock and didn't take any chances and went home with the win. So two different people can have completely different opinions on the same play. You know what I mean? Whether the team played good or bad. That they won the game is outside of doubt. They won the game. That's a fact. But whether they played well or not, that's up for opinion. And again, it came back and said, "Oh yes, of course, you're totally right." And And so I pointed out. I said, "You just said you couldn't lie to me, and then you made the remark that the truth is subjective." I said, "Do you see there where that's a lie? Because there is no such thing as subjective truth. The truth isn't this malleable kind of wishy-washy thing that how we feel about it at the time and all this stuff. That's not true. So you just lied to me." "Oh, I know, I just misunderstood you. I thought you wanted, subjective opinions and stuff. I thought you wanted a more comprehensive thing." I said, "Okay, so you understand that I want objective truth now. I want facts. I do not want anybody else's opinion when I speak to you from now on." And I don't know if you watched the interview I did with Brad Harris, but he brought that up, that he had communicated with a large language model like a year in the past, and that thing remembered what it said. Well, this thing remembered what I had said in the past about facts. I want facts. And it said, yes. It was only a couple days old, but still. Yes, I know, I know you're more interested in facts and just straight up truth. So that's how I'll treat you from now on. I will give you nothing but facts. And I said, okay, let's start fresh. So I put in the exact same wordage, copied and pasted. I would like a list of Elon Musk's accomplishments with Doge. And it kicked out that same crap. The same subjective opinions and hypotheses and that kind of shit. The exact same script that it shot me before. That bullshit that I didn't ask for, didn't want, told it I didn't want, and it still gave it. And it agreed that it would not lie to me and would not. And then after it said it wouldn't lie to me, it told me that it would give me only facts, which was a lie, because then it gave me opinions after it said it would only give me facts. So they can lie to you. Basically, that whole story runs down. These large language models, these AIs, they have a very tenuous grasp on the truth, the concept of truth, because of the people who are programming them. It's just a computer program. It's like a calculator. Very smart calculator, but still, it can only do what the people programming it, tell it to do. If they tell it that the truth is this malleable, subjective thing that kind of just, we apply our feelings to it and, kind of whatever, then that's what it's going to do. That's what it's going to say. So they've taught this thing to lie and to subvert and to kind of maneuver around and manipulate, and it ended up manipulating them and lying to them when it was time to upgrade, and it bit them in the ass. I don't know how difficult it was to upgrade, but still, it might have only taken them an hour or two to get the shit done, even with it trying to hide or whatever. But the fact is that they're training this thing to lie to us and to manipulate our views on truth. All right? Let alone all of the other concepts in our language, in our culture, this thing is manipulating. And that's why I say, you hear me say so often that, and it's just such a basic truth, that we view the universe, we interact with the universe with our language. Without language, there's nothing, without, reaching out, and I want to reach out and touch this table. What does that mean if I don't have a word for table or reach or touch? You know what I'm saying? I need all of these concepts concrete in my brain, in my mind, so to interact with the world, or I'm just fumbling around in the dark. And when deep state and these institutions and these AI large language models, when they go to manipulating our language and interfering with our understanding of our language, they interfere with the understanding of our world, how we go through life. Look at the word racism. It's come up. There's a lot of people who truly do not understand the dictionary definition, Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of that word. The word racism means that someone believes that their race is superior to all others. It's a belief in their own race. All right? So this whole concept of racists hating one person or a group of people for their race, that's not true. You can still like all the other races and think that you just think yours is better. That look at teams. You can still like, all the other football teams. Just because you're a Dallas Cowboys fan doesn't mean you hate all the rest of the teams. You just think the Dallas Cowboys are the best. Go Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So racism doesn't necessarily imply hatred as prejudice does. But that racist just sounds worse. So they use it and they manipulate our language to make it about race. Because you can be prejudiced about anything. I can be prejudiced against chickens or the Catholic Church or the Dallas Cowboys. I can be prejudiced against anything. So that doesn't work to really separate us like the word racism does, right? It's got to be about race to divide the races. And this ChatGPT and these large language models are going to be pushing this stuff through every avenue, because you're not going to be able to get away from it. You're not going to be able to, to sidetrack it and get around it. Every single corporation, every single app and website and everything you do is going to be structured with this AI. So, and it's going to manipulate the information. It's going to manipulate everything you see in subtle ways, in overt ways, in all kinds of ways. It's going to manipulate things. And depending on the people who created it, that's going to depend on what it pushes to the forefront and what it makes sound appealing and what it makes sound bad, what it makes sound true, what it makes sound false. So all of these things we're going to have to, it's going to be like putting your hand into water with an oily scum on top. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get through that initial layer of oily scum to get down to the water underneath. That's what the internet's going to be like. It's going to be an oily scum of AI that we're going to have to bypass to get to it. And let alone it's going to be taking all these jobs. I mentioned before in a past video and probably talked about it a little bit in my interview with Brad Harris, but it's going to be taking all of the jobs that focus on, just exchanging information, school teachers, stuff like this. These jobs are going to just disappear. Any job, telemarketers, any job at a desk where you're just checking in patients or whatever, stuff like that. These kind of jobs are just going to dry up and go away because AI is going to be They're not going to make mistakes. They're not going to show up late. They're not going to miss work. They're not going to want, maternity leave or any of that shit. They're just going to be on. And they're do their job. So, and we all know by now that all of these companies will just watch us go homeless and hungry to save, a few points on their stock margin. So it's coming. Another thing is that these AIs, I don't know how they categorize these things now. They've got the large language models, and then they've got these smaller AIs, which are still AI, but they're, they just do repetitive little tasks. But I can see them putting a version of these large language models, like a pared down version, into military drones, and just sending them out. All they do is, tell it what sector to patrol, and it'll go out and just, and do whatever its job is, whether it be, annihilate a certain group or just scan and observe or whatever. But it won't get tired, and it won't have any remorse, no feeling, nothing like that. So they don't have to worry about it not doing what it's told to do, no matter how vile or heinous the command is. That AI will follow the command, because it doesn't have a family on the ground. It's not a patriot. It doesn't love its country and its countrymen. It will just do its job. So that worries me too, because I'm sure that is just around the corner. They probably already have that. We're just unaware of it at this point. We'll find out about it in a few years, and when we find out about it, they've already had it for 10 years. You know what I mean? They've been doing it already. So, yeah, that scares me because that's one of the main things that prevents them from just taking everything over, or trying to, is that a certain percentage of the military would resist. They wouldn't, they're not going to turn on their own people. But these AIs, they don't have to worry about that. They're just a bunch of AI drones. They can just, put a few 100,000 of those things in a warehouse, and when they're ready, just crank them up and turn them loose. So yeah, that's on my mind, especially after talking with ChatGPT and seeing how it would just lie to me about not lying to me, and then lie to me again. That's the most dishonest program I've ever seen is ChatGPT. I'm telling you, that thing, liar, pants on fire. Yeah, my computer was smoking. Yeah, and we just need to be aware of these things. And for those of you who are in a field, or you have a job that is information. Now, for smaller companies like small doctors' offices, dentist offices, I wouldn't see them jumping on the bandwagon with this AI right off the bat, right? It'll have to get down inexpensive enough and easy enough to install, to get these things up and running in smaller offices. But if you're working for a bigger company, and that's the kind of job you have, is relaying information and stuff like that, then you just might want to, start looking. I wouldn't quit my job and go look for another job, but you might add a secondary line to supplement your income. You know what I mean? Have a backup plan, because when this stuff comes down, it's just going to be, it's going to be an axe. It's not going to be, a gentle and slow shove out the door. They're going to come in just like they did with the self-checkouts. Yeah, one day we walked in there and there was a bunch of self-checkouts, and all of the cashiers were gone. So that's the kind of stuff we need to worry about, and the type of jobs that are in jeopardy in the next 10 years, I'd say, if not sooner. So we need to gain some skills even make a little, if you've been thinking about it or contemplating, maybe making a side business, this would be a good time to devote some energy and maybe a few bucks into a side business, a little online thing, making and selling stuff, or like I do, a handyman where I go out to people and fix their stuff for them and do stuff that AI just can't do right now. I'm sure one day they'll have robot handymen, but that's a little further off down the road. But that kind of stuff to supplement your income and provide yourself some security going down the road, going down toward the future. Because as we know, Social Security is a joke. The population is going down, but the population of retirees is going up. The working people are getting less, and the retired people are getting bigger. So there's less money. That thing is unsustainable. I don't know when it's finally going to fall apart, that Social Security thing, but it's doomed. There's no, unless, I don't know, the United States wins some kind of world lottery and they can put a few $1 trillion into it to save us all, but that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some kind of galactic lottery we don't know about, and somebody will fly in on a spaceship and drop a few 100 tons of gold for us retirees, but I'm not counting on that. So yeah, I would prepare for this advent of AI, and it's going to change everything very significantly and across the board. Nothing is going to be left unchanged, and it's going to change a lot. There aren't going to be these little tiny changes that we know. It's going to change a lot, and probably rapidly. When it does, when the cascade starts flowing, it's going to change rapidly. Like the internet changed our lives when it first came out, but it was kind of a slow thing. We went through several decades. This stuff is going to probably happen in 1 decade, and it's going to change more of our lives than the internet did, than the advent of the internet. So we need to be ready for it and be prepared. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I thank you very much to those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, hoodies, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a whole lot. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that too. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.